welcome to the Grant Writing Simplified podcast. This is the place to learn how to make a big impact in your community through grant writing and nonprofit consulting. The world needs you to step forward as a grant writer and use your skills to lead with confidence. I'm Teresa Huff, former special ed teacher turned grant writer and nonprofit strategist. In my 20 years of freelancing, I've helped nonprofits triple their funding and exponentially increase their reach. Now I'm stepping up to mentor freelancers and nonprofit leaders like you who are ready to take your skills to the next level. It's time to get intentional about your vision so you can create lasting change in your community. Learn the skills and strategies you need to become the grant writer the world needs. Let's do this. Hey friends, welcome to episode 30 of Grant Writing Simplified. I have a fun status update to share with you guys today. This month, the podcast hit 5,000 downloads. That's just in over 5 months' time. And it's been listened to in 49 states and 39 countries. That's incredible. I did not know what to expect when I started the podcast in October. So how cool is that? Thank you guys for listening and for supporting and for sharing this with your friends and with your other professionals in the nonprofit community. Since I started the podcast, I've also had the honor of working with some incredible nonprofits and coaching some amazing nonprofit professionals in the Fast Track to Grant Writer VIP program. That has been so much fun, helping them figure out their career goals, sometimes even realizing the skills that they've got hiding right under their noses, and helping them develop a solid toolbox of grant writing techniques to seriously up their game. This 8 weeks can change the trajectory of your entire career. If you want to jump into, the spring cohort closes this week on March 25th. Go to teresahuff.com/VIP to sign up today. Don't wait. If you're listening to this after that, you can still go there and get on the wait list for the next round. Today, since it's kind of a landmark of episode 30 and hitting 5,000 downloads, I thought it might be fun to go back to the beginning days of why I became a grant writer and kind of talk about how that's evolved over time and how I've grown through that process. If you had listened back to the very first episode, I shared my journey of how I started out as a special ed teacher and then got into grant writing from there and how that was great preparation for that. So I won't go through that whole story again, but I did want to kind of pull out the specific reasons of why I became a grant writer in the first place. I had been teaching special ed for a few years and got my master's in education. And then when we had kids, I wanted to stay home and be able to still work from home, but be available for my family. The first reason that I became a grant writer was just out of practicality. It was a way I could still use my skills and my degree. I had always liked writing and details and that kind of work, and an opportunity came up to work with a team of grant writers. So that was an incredible way to start learning and picking up on those skills from other people and from a mentor who had been doing it a lot longer than I had. So that was a great way for me to jump in. And those were the practical reasons. And then, of course, I wanted a purpose. It was a way I could make a difference in my community, but from my laptop at home with my kids. Yet I could still impact an entire community, an entire school district. I could really make a big difference from behind the scenes, which really suited my personality a lot better. I'm not one for the spotlight. And yes, I realize the irony of that with having a podcast now. But, as I said, it's been a growing process. And then the other reason was just personal, because I wanted to stay home with our kids, but still find a flexible way to bring in income for our family. And that way I could work around naps. I could get up and work before they got up in the mornings. It was just something that I could do on my own time, and as I had that flexible time frame, it was more deadline based rather than working a set time frame. I didn't have to be available 8 to 5 to my clients. As long as I got the job done and the grants submitted on time, they didn't care when or where or how I worked. So I did the job well. I just did it more on my own terms. And that worked really well for my situation, especially when our kids were little. So those were the initial reasons that I started grant writing. However, they've kind of evolved and changed over the years too. They've grown as I've grown. I've realized that even though I'm not in the classroom anymore, I still really enjoy the teaching aspect and organizing the content in a way that makes sense. Or in special ed, I did a lot of adapting of the content to the learners and to their specific needs, which I find a lot of fun. It's challenging and it's a cool way to see, okay, how can we present this differently so that they can understand it better? And although I didn't know this in the beginning, over the years as I've gained more experience, I've realized that strategy is one of my superpowers. Whether it's helping people think through your business goals to become a grant writing consultant, or talking through your nonprofit's big picture to figure out your next steps, strategy is my jam. I'm better at it now because of all those years of experience with writing grants and the different types of clients I've worked with. And yes, even because of the mistakes I've made along the way. Learning things the hard way is a very effective teacher, although it sure takes longer that way. And that's why I harnessed all of it into this Fast Track to Grant Writer program, so that you can get rolling faster with your career. The thing is, there are so many good causes out there and so many grants to write. No one grant writer can do it all. After a while, I did sort of niche down into working with nonprofits that make life better for kids and families. That kind of became my focus as a grant writer specifically. But those same strategies and concepts that I've used still apply to other subject areas. So that's why I'm here doing this now. I can take my super skills of teaching and strategy to teach you, and then you can go out and work in your zone of grant writing genius. You can work on that cause that really lights you up. And together we can create a much bigger ripple effect. How cool is that? Today, though, I'd also like you to meet another Fast Track to Grant Writer alumni. Last week I introduced you to Lisa and John, and they are so talented, and I can't wait to see how they used everything that we went through in the course. Today I'm talking with Diego. He was already working part-time as a grant writer for a small nonprofit. And Diego is also a graduate student, and he's been instrumental in helping his nonprofit set up an internship program, which is really cool too. He's getting some great experience there, but he just wasn't feeling really confident yet with his grant writing. So we worked on that in the Fast Track program, and he talked about some really amazing services he could offer to nonprofits based on his skill set and the experience he's gaining. It's been so much fun having him in the Fast Track program. Everybody in there has brought such a unique perspective to the group, and it's been great watching them interact and support each other. So today, listen in as Diego and I chat about how far he's come over the past few weeks and where he's headed next. So what are your thoughts overall about the program now that we're wrapping it up?
I think it's interesting how I first came to the program with the idea of learning to grant writing, and then I came away with it with that and more.
Good.
Like I just got so much more than I anticipated, which is great. Like the stuff we touched on was just beyond grant writing, but in a good sense. It was really good. Just the progression of the course. It made total sense, the way that it was approached. Very holistic, I think. So that's been my biggest thought I've been reflecting on, was kind of going, wow, I reflected so much of my values and my goals, and I also got much better at grant writing. So good. Yeah, I just got more than I bargained for, which is awesome.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I was hoping that would be the case, because I really feel like not enough programs take that into account, or we as people don't take that into account of the bigger picture and how it all relates together, whether it's within the organization or with your own goals in your career. There's a lot more to consider besides just, how do I learn these grant writing skills? You need to look at the whole picture.
Yeah, exactly. The whole picture, I think, is helpful. It's helpful because now I have a much better sense of where I'm going overall, not even just in grant writing, so that I can do grant writing better. And that's the cool thing, is when you get all the other pieces aligned well, then the grant writing piece is just even better. And so I think that's what I came away with, was I have exactly the tools I need now to do the grant writing I do in my organization better, and all these other things aligned as well.
Well, good. I can tell just from our conversations that you're thinking more strategically in ways you can help your nonprofit now in the place where you work, not just how can I write a better grant, but you're thinking about the strategy of how to help them at that higher level for that long-term success.
Absolutely. And I didn't even realize I was doing this before I got into my position at the organization, thinking more strategically and more of not just the grant writing, but the whole system and how the system fits in within the overall organization. So I was thinking in terms of systems, and I think this course just brought all that into sharper focus to me, and it made me realize, hey, you're doing this. You're already thinking like this. So implement that and keep doing that sort of strategic analysis for the overall grants department that I helped develop at my organization. So yeah, this course just really sharpened that even more and kind of highlighted to me what I was already doing, which I didn't really think was anything spectacular or important. But yeah, this course really helped me realize that was a kind of a superpower that I had, and I definitely need to use it.
Good. Yeah, 'cause that's something a lot of times we don't even realize the value of our own superpower that's right in front of us because it's so natural. It's just what we do. But then to have it in that perspective of, that would be a really cool way to help nonprofits, because some people can't see that the way you do, or they can't figure out how to organize things, and that's natural for you. So that can help really pinpoint that of things that you love doing anyway, and how you could use those.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything that surprised you about the course?
Yeah, just getting more than I bargained for again. It was so surprising. And I think I didn't really fully understand this until the course was over, but it surprised me so much, the different aspects we touched upon. All of this culminates to, all right, what's your plan now? So that was, just little things like that. I thought, wow, yeah, this is surprising, and I didn't really fully get that until the course ended and I was reflecting on it. It's all really good. It's really good. It's stuff that I'm gonna implement again. The way you presented it was so robust. One of the things that really surprised me was that I'm more confident talking to others about grant writing. I am now teaching an intern not how to grant write, but kind of grant writing best practices, and then we'll probably work through a grant together. But I would have never had that confidence if I hadn't gone through this course. I don't think I would have been able to articulate, hey, these are kind of the best things. And I would have had an idea, but not to the level I am right now, where I show up to the meeting and I know exactly what we need to talk about. So
cool.
So not just knowing how to grant write myself, but then being able to take that knowledge and then teach it to others too. That's been a surprise.
That's exciting, because I want to create a ripple effect of teaching you to do grants so you can write grants and have a bigger impact in all your communities. But that's a really cool side effect too, of you teaching interns, and then they can do it too. Exactly. So that's awesome. Yeah. And a lot of it, I think, having done grants in your position, a lot of these concepts, but being new, and I remember being at that stage, where you're doing it by yourself, you're not real sure about some of the things. Like, am I doing this right? Is this good or not? I really don't know. But I can see where your confidence has really developed with that, of just knowing certain best practices that, I'm on the right track here. I know what I'm doing. Or maybe I need to shift that and now I'm good. Yeah. So I can see where that's really grown.
Yeah, it has grown. I'm interested in this aspect of teaching other side of grant write. I think teaching is something, that I enjoy doing anyways. So it makes sense in terms of my personality, but really enjoying this time I'm spending with the intern teaching, and I didn't even realize that would be something I'd be interested in doing. So
that's cool. Yeah, and I can see where you, like we had talked about before, where you could really be instrumental in helping set up internship type programs for nonprofits. That could be a good skill.
Yeah, there's tons of application. So again, this is just another thing that I had no idea would come out.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
If somebody was thinking about the program and they're on the fence of, should I do it or should I not, what would you tell them?
Yeah, my advice would probably come from my own thinking through that question of should I do Teresa's course? Should I not do it? I think if you're just interested in this space in general and you're looking to increase your understanding. I mean, we had people in the course who weren't even grant writers technically. They were doing something else, but they were interested in just learning more. So I think if you're just in the nonprofit world or a related sort of space where you're involved in grant writing, this course is helpful to you because you go so much deeper than just grant writing. And you'll come away with tools and plans and mindsets that are different that I think can be applied to just a ton of different sectors and spaces in general.
I'm glad. That was my goal, was to not just tell you exactly how to follow this formula, but to apply the concepts to your work, whether it's with grants or with just your other work in general and nonprofits. So I was hoping that's what you would come away with, was the higher level skills, not just the basic facts.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, that's why I would recommend this to like a more general audience than just I'm a grant writer or I'm interested in grant writing. Definitely, if you're in that space, take this course. But also to a ton of different professionals, like executive directors or development directors, anybody in the nonprofit space could probably benefit from this course if they really are interested in learning how to grant write. One of the things that like emerged from the course for me was getting to connect with another course member. His name's John. He was just talking on this podcast not too long ago. But just the ability to connect to people around the world through this kind of course format was pivotal for me because now John and I are working together on things. So that's another thing completely surprising to me that emerged from the course, was just that peer-to-peer connection was so strong that it even emerged into a working partnership. Mm-hmm. So another surprise, again, that wasn't pitched initially, but that came out, and it's been really good. John and I have worked really well together. So
that's cool. And that was a surprise for me too, because that's not something I had planned on or anticipated when I created it. So that was really amazing to see some of the networking opportunities that have emerged really for the whole team, because now we kind of have this core referral group among each other, and everybody's skill sets are so complementary that I feel like we have this really cool resource pool to send people or refer across for each other.
Absolutely. I think networking is a better way to put it. Mm-hmm. The shared space we all had and the investment gave us a sense of who the other people were in the course that enabled, like, I saw John in the course, was like, oh wow, he's got great ideas. This thing he has going on, what's up with that? It's like, hey John, let's talk. But it created that space to network. And yeah, if anybody was interested in just kind of finding other like-minded people, networking, this course was pivotal for that, and it'd be helpful for other people as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, sometimes it's hard to find people to collaborate with that have the same values or the same goals, or just that even the same work ethic and drive. And so by pulling in people with those similar interests, you really do find those relationships much more quickly, where you can hit it off, and you kind of have some of the pre-filters in place to where you know you can fast forward that process.
Exactly. Yeah. Fast track to networking.
There you go. Fast track to fill in the blank.
Yeah.
All these things. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's a good perspective to have too. Just kind of that fun added element that I think we were all surprised by.
I was surprised, and that's not to say I joined just to find people to work with. That wasn't my intention at all. But it just kind of emerged as a feature of the course that you have these pre-filters to, wow, this person's really cool, and I already know because of X, Y, and Z they're here. That's what enabled that connection, I think, between John and I and the rest of the course members too. I think I would find a connection with any of them on that sort of partnership level if I reached out.
Yeah, and with the group calls, that really gave us all a chance to kind of get to know each other and to see how everyone interacts, what kind of input they give, because people have completely different perspectives and insights. So that was really fun to have what everyone brought to the table.
Yeah.
It was a really fun rapport between the group. I enjoyed that and enjoyed seeing how everybody just was so supportive and encouraging. That was a lot of fun.
Definitely. Yeah, that's what's surprised me again about this course was how when you intentionally put yourself in a space to learn with others, that there's just a more natural engagement, I think, when you kind of put your stake in the ground of, hey, I went to all this trouble to be here. And I'm not getting like a degree or anything. I'm here to learn. When you have other people who put that similar stake in the ground, it creates this intentionality that allows for really good engagement and interaction as opposed to your undergraduate 101 course with 100 people who are in.
You're just meeting the requirements.
Exactly. Nobody here is trying to check a box. They're intentionally trying to understand or go deeper into something. And I think that creates a space where people are super engaged.
Very true. Well, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm really glad it worked out so well, and fun to see everybody's ideas really spark and grow of where you could take this for each of you. I'm excited to see where you go with it.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. There's so many interesting things now.
I feel like there are a lot of really solid opportunities of directions you could go with this and with your consulting. And even if with your coursework, if you don't have time constantly, you could still pick things up here and there.
Absolutely. Because the thing that I realized was the thing that I got from this course is going directly to my nonprofit that I'm working at. All of that material is being tunneled.
It's exciting because I want you to see all the possibilities of ways you can help besides just grant writing. Because a lot of people think, I want to do grant writing, but I don't know where to start. But you really have a lot of ways you could start. And the things that really light you up, that's where you start.
Exactly. So that's where I think it went above and beyond, because I got the grant writing stuff for my grant writing job, but then I saw my skills and that kind of emerged with my work with John as, I can do a ton of other things besides grant writing that I kind of connected to the skills that I already implement in grant writing.
Okay, friends, if this grant writing thing is starting to resonate with you and you are just really feeling inclined that, hey, maybe this is my thing, maybe I need to go for it and go all in, then sign up. You know where to go, teresahuff.com/VIP. It closes March 25th for the spring cohort. You know how fast 2 months goes by. So 2 months from now, do you want to be way ahead in your skill set, or do you want to be about where you are now, maybe a couple of baby steps forward? Let's get you way ahead. That's my vote. So go over there and sign up today. Let's get you in the program and let's get you moving fast. We will review your goals. We will look at where you are and where you want to be and map out a really clear plan to get there. I share all kinds of tools, strategies, extra things along the way that will really help you develop skills and services that you can offer to nonprofits. And that's if you're wanting to be a consultant. But if you are an employee with a nonprofit wanting to step up your grant writing game, this is great for you too. We talk through how you can do that, different issues that will come up in your job, ways to really step up your grant writing skills. And I give you several templates. We walk through sections of grants. I review your writing. And the thing is, if you're already working with a nonprofit, whether as an employee or a consultant, I want you to use projects you're already working on for part of the homework, so that way you can get direct feedback from me. You don't have to reinvent the wheel by using some hypothetical situation. I want this to be real-time, practical stuff that you can immediately take and use on the job right away. If you have questions, shoot me an email, send me a note on my website contact form, or there's a little voicemail button there. You can just leave me a message there, and I'm happy to answer those. But sign up, do it quick. March 25th is the date, and that's coming fast. You've just got a couple of days. If you miss that, like I said, you can still sign up to get on the wait list, and I'll keep you posted for the next round. But if this is something that you are considering and it just is one of those things that won't leave you alone, don't wait. You guys, grant writing has been life-changing for me. It's been so incredible being able to make such an impact on communities School districts, food pantries, senior centers, and nonprofit daycare, all the clients I've worked with through the years, it's been incredible and a way to really make such a difference. But still behind the scenes, it suits my personality, and that's why I'm so excited about helping other people learn how. Because yes, there's room at the table for you, and yes, there are grants out there that need to be written and nonprofits that need your help. So don't wait. Get on this fast track and let's do this together.